championship in his 10th finals. Kevin, when you hear those numbers and the amount of finals games that he's playing, he's saying it's like a chess match as you go from game to game. But what is it like when you're in that, third or fourth finals and you're trying to figure it out and you're matching your wits?
You get pretty comfortable. I was lucky enough to go to 4 straight finals, and you get pretty comfortable in that situation. The other team's going to make adjustments, and you're trying to think ahead as to, for me, it was like where the double teams are coming from, who I was guarding, what he was going to do to counter what I was doing to him. And it is a chess match. But, when they said LeBron played 258 playoff games, I'm like, wow, that's amazing, man. And, he's still out there. Going downhill, playing, putting up unbelievable numbers. It just, we're seeing something that it's just really amazing when you watch that young man and everything he was able to do. So, yeah, I feel like he really has a handle on what this is all about: adjustments, playing, getting ready to play, and he's very, very comfortable in his 10th final appearance. You can just see it in his demeanor. He also, it never hurts when you know on your team you have the 2 best players in the series that are on your team with he and AD. That's always a pretty comforting thought.
That's more than 3 regular seasons, those 256 games you just referenced in the postseason for LeBron James. C-Webb, for Miami, looking forward, what adjustments can they make? I mean, you heard Jimmy Butler just talking about that length and that size and playing against them. What can they do from here on out?
I don't know if there's many more adjustments that they can make. I do know that the biggest tenet that they could stick to is the fact of stick to the Miami Heat way, stick to the process. Because really, if you look at it, this team has had problems scoring. I mean, and definitely partly because of the Lakers' defense, their length, their lateral movement. But a lot of it is just they've just been outmanned. And so if they just keep coming with it play after play, they'll be encouraged. They just want to keep it close so that hopefully at the end of the game they can strike. But they could definitely start with securing the rebounds, making sure they don't give up extra possessions, and then not letting the game get downhill. Try to keep the Lakers from playing that fast transition game, because that's where LeBron thrives.
Chuck, this is your last question of this season, because I believe you're done after tonight's show, right? So what are your final words for this year, Chuck? What do you want to say to the people?
I just want to say this to the people. Fairways and greens, that's just not a shirt. I cannot wait to hit fairways and greens. Hey, man, listen, I just want to say this. I've said this before. Ken McHale's the best player I ever played with. C-Webb should have been in the Hall of Fame 5 years ago. It's just a matter of time. He should have been in 5 years ago. Chris, you're the black Ernie Johnson. Listen, I work. I got a chance to work with the great Grant Hill, Steve Smith, Jared Greenberg, everybody the other day. Man, I love my job. I work with the best people in the world on television, Ernie, Kenny, and Shaq. I got TK, Fiorello, Jared, Jeremy. Don't want to forget him, Edie, who's annoying, my man Underdog, Ant, Kev, and everybody. I'm not going to see any of y'all for the next 3 months. I'm glad y'all don't have my private cell. Y'all got the jackass line. I got 2, hey, Kevin, I got 2 cell phones. I got a jackass line and I got my private cell. Kevin, you got the private cell, you and C-Webb.
I got the good number.
Chris never, you got the good, Chris, Chris Miles, you've never called me, so it don't matter. Listen, I just want to thank, and I said this, and I want to give a shout out. We did a story earlier tonight about the doctors. I was critical of the NBA when this thing first started. I said, there's no way we can go 3 months without having an outbreak of COVID. I just want to take my hat off to Adam Silver, every person in Orlando in the bubble, and most importantly, to every single player in the bubble. All the players, Lou Williams went for some wings. That was the only screw up. But everybody else in the bubble was fantastic. So I want to take my hat off to Adam Silver and the entire NBA. It's been amazing what they have accomplished. I want to give a shout out to Gary Bettman and my boy John Cooper of the Tampa Bay Lightning Stanley Cup champions. They did the exact same thing the NBA did with the bubble. Love you, John Cooper. But man, I never thought this thing was going to work. I never thought it was going to work. I never thought we could go 3 months without a COVID outbreak. But listen, God bless the players and every single player who's a doctor and everybody who's worked in the bubble, man. This is my last night. I just want to thank you guys for another great year, and I'll see y'all next year.
Chuck, we want to send you out on the right note. C-Webb, this is for you, my friend.
All right, thank you. Let's see. Mike, go ahead.
Hey, LeBron, I just wanted to ask you about KCP down the stretch there. You grabbed the rebound off Jimmy's miss, push in transition, see him in the corner. Just wonder, all the teammates you've had, you know which guys are going to be capable for those moments in the finals game. What you thought of that and his effort overall?
I think at the end of the day, if you're on the floor in crunch time, then I believe in you. Who's ever out on the floor with me, I believe can make plays. And tonight was a case in point of KCP. A guy who stays ready, who works on his craft. And like you said, you know, that three in front of their bench was a huge three. And obviously the drive at the end of the shot clock was two big back-to-back plays, you know, in the fourth quarter where we needed to continue to score versus team.
I think it was after game 2 that you made the comment that it's not just enough to win the game. You guys want to be great. This game was one where defensively you guys were great, and then there was a lot of sloppiness early offensively with the turnovers. I'm just wondering if there's a certain point, like, does there come a point where you stop striving for that winning in a great way, and it's just enough to get the wins? Or is that not until
Well, it's two different things. It's kind of two different things, two different points you're making. You never stop striving to be perfect or be great. Not going to happen, but that don't mean you still don't strive to be as great as you can be every night. Now, you know, every game has its own, adjustments and things of that nature. And, tonight was one of those games where we had to win on the defensive end and make some timely shots. But I think when you start thinking like, okay, well, I can't be great tonight, or we can't be great tonight, okay, we just have to figure it out, then you sell yourself short. And for me personally, I would never do that as long as I lace them up and put on a uniform. But I love what we did tonight.
Allison?
LeBron, you guys took a 5-point lead to the fourth quarter and won the game, which made you, as a team, 56-0 this season, taking a lead into the fourth. What does that say about the makeup of your team, and do you take any pride in being on a team that can possess that stat?
Well, I think the fourth quarter obviously is winning time. You got 12 minutes to buckle down defensively with the lead, try to hold that lead, and then you have to execute offensively. And, obviously didn't know the stat, coming into tonight, but for us, that's just the mindset. We got 12 minutes. And if we have the lead, it's our job to outscore the opponent or hold them to less points as us, which is the same exact thing. And because if we win the quarter, we win the game. And that's kind of been our mindset all year long.
I know you talked about AD's great games and said that's who AD is, but in the last 2 days, from where he sort of told us after Game 3, he felt like it could have been more aggressive to the guy he was after hitting that shot with 39 seconds left, beating his chest. What did you see in sort of his just getting back to that place where he can be the player that he can be?
He's a big shot maker in the shot clock, early in the shot clock, fourth quarter, first quarter, everything in between. And it was just a great setup by Doe. The possession before that, Doe was able to fake it like he was going back to him, carry yourself into the lane, get a layup. And then, kind of the very next possession, he was able to, find him. And AD just kind of stared at the, stared at the shot clock, knew it was late in the shot clock, and obviously trusted his shot that he works on consistently. So, big-time shot, big-time play for our team to be able to put the game away.
Sam?
Ron, Spo just said over here that this game being tight back and forth the entire time, that it came down to moments of truth. You guys won more than they did at the end. But when AD hits that shot and you're doing the Ric Flair and screaming a little bit, is there a different kind of satisfaction when y'all are so tight all night long and then you have that kind of a breakthrough at that point?
Well, you kind of know momentum plays and momentum shots, depending on the score, the time, what's going on, within the last few possessions. They were going back and forth, with us, and we were going back and forth with them. Duncan Robinson hits one off the glass at the end of the shot clock for a three. Bam hits one off the glass and, right there before the matter. I can go every other day if that was the case be, but I'm going to take full advantage of it. It gives me an opportunity to continue to get my body right, my mind, and everything in between. So I'll take full advantage of it, but it does nothing for me besides just getting a little extra day. I guess it does. I guess it does do a little something, but it's not needed for me personally.
Chris?
Bron, when I believe it's like the third game of this series where you guys have called for a challenge in the first half. Today it was the right, you got it overturned, the right call. But when do you as a player feel like it's time to, do a challenge so early in the game? Like, when do you weigh the pros and cons of doing it so early?
There's certain momentum plays throughout the first half. A certain rhythm that you have, either off